Hey everybody, welcome back to Heckerdoodle's channel, and today I'm showing you a DIY of my very first DIY actually of a Christmas decoration that I decided to make. As you guys might know, I know I like to show my paper projects like my flip books and pocket letters and other things that I make, but I've never really shown a DIY of some of the crafts I actually do. I haven't done a lot of other handicrafts because I do love to sew, needle felt, and crochet, but I've never really showed some of the work I've done. And I like to make plushies out of socks. And one of the things I did find online was how to make this snowman sock plush, if we can call it plush. It's not really plush because it is not filled with any type of the stuffing or filling like you use on your pillows or little dolls or stuffed dolls for plushies. This is filled with rice. So what the rice does is it helps it sit still so you can keep it up. You could put it on your table. You can use it as a weight, but it is pretty small. And this is only using items from the Dollar Tree, maybe from the 99-cent store, and a few items that you can get probably at Michael's or Joann's, because you might need something, you know, just for fabric sakes. You can use whatever you like to make your little scarf. And a lot of the other things that you really need to get is just embellishments. This is the only thing I did on the scarf that I didn't show in the DIY, is just embroidery. I have a sewing machine, so I just wanted to use a little something. I thought that was a little, it'll made a little nice touch to show this. It's a little, like little snowflakes in the line. And so you don't have to do this, but you can get other kinds of fabric. You can use anything you want. You don't even need to use felt. You can just use a t-shirt from what it looks like on Handy Mania's video that I had gotten the idea from. And this is all socks and embellishments. Really, that's all you need for this project. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this is what you need for the project. You'll need some socks. I got these from the Dollar Tree. There's 2 in a pack. I got this. You could also get, you know, any pair of socks that you want for a design. This is from the 99-cent store, but you can get any kind of sock. I will be using this particular sock because I've had to use this in the past, so you'll have already seen this. I use this one. Some embellishments that you'll need will be some pom-poms from Dollar Tree, some glue sticks, of course the glue gun. I only use glue guns from the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store. And also some twine, and you can buy that at the Dollar Tree as well, but this is what I have on hand right now. I think I bought this from Target last year, so I'm just using this baker's twine for now. Some scissors to cut up the sock, and some other items. Some embroidery thread you can get anywhere, even Walmart has these little embroidery threads. And then I'm just going to use embroidery needle. You can use any. I'm just using probably the smallest one I have, so just a small little needle. And you'll just need some felt pieces. You can use any type of felt pieces or any type of material. This will be for the nose, and for now I'm going to just probably use this as my scarf. We're just going to be cutting out a piece just to tie around its neck. And the last thing I forgot to film is a 2-pound bag of the Pampa brand rice from the Dollar Tree. And that's about it. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, we're going to start off by taking out one of the socks. You only need one. And you're going to be cutting off from that angle, that's that line right before the heel. And then you're going to go ahead and turn it inside out, and using that edge. We're not using the other part. And I'm just kind of fixing it. Take out some twine and cut up that part, and also just tie around the sock. A couple of times. You want to make sure that you tie it really tight enough so when you do turn it inside out, the rice won't come out. So you want to make it as tight as possible. Okay, so we're going to turn it inside out the other direction, the right side up, and kind of fix it a bit. Okay, it's time to put the rice inside the sock. I had this little pitcher that I used for a steam mop, and it had a spout on it, which was perfect. You can just use a spoon if you don't have anything like this, but for me this was much easier to refill the container to put the rice in. I did use half of the Pampa's rice brand that I got from the Dollar Tree, so you can put as much as you want on it. The sock was pretty stretchable, so the more rice you get, the more round it was. Keep in mind, this was my first snowman that I made, and just decided to try out making this video. So the next few ones I made, I ended up making it much bigger. And I also ended up going back to the Dollar Tree and finding the men's size sock. So I guess if it's any bit bigger, I will let you guys know if you guys want to know how much more rice you can take in if you really want to know the measurements. So here I'm just tying this up really tight. Keep kind of molding your sock at the same time to put the shape of where the head and the body will be. You gotta kind of make it look like a squash. But I decided to tie the top first so the rice won't come out as I kind of mold the bottom. Okay, so I might try using the men's sock, hoping that the tube sock will be a little bit bigger than the women's size. And if doing so, I might even try to do 3 different layers instead of 2. But if you do that, you might want to make sure you get like some string that's white. And I'll most likely won't put rice at the top for the head because it might be just a bit too much. It might move around a lot. So probably putting like regular fluffy stuffing that you use for your pillow might work out. Okay, so now I have my felt I'm cutting up for the scarf. I didn't do a very good job cutting it. I wanted to do this as fast as I can. I'm adjusting the scarf and positioning it where I want to put it, and I decided to put it on the side. I also ended up cutting up some fringe to make it a little bit more festive. Keep in mind, if you cut it too thin, the fringe starts ripping off. I think it'd be easier to start with the sewing if you wanted to put a little pretty decorative edge, so that afterwards you just cut the length that you want. We're ready to go ahead and make the beanie. I'm going to be using up the green one that I used in the previous project, so I don't have to cut up the blue one. All you do is turn it inside out, and just like we did with the sock for the snowman, we're going to cut up some twine and tie it up really tight again. I've seen other pictures that people do of their sock snowmans where they just kind of tie it on the outside and leave the top like that on the top, where you can just cut it up and make it like a little fringe or a pom-pom. But I decided I wanted to cut it up and turn it inside out. We can go ahead and put the beanie on the snowman's head and just adjust it to the, where you want it. I put more on the back side of its head and just kind of adjust it as much as you like. Okay, time to put the embellishments on the snowman. I put a pom-pom on the top of its beanie, and I decided to go ahead and use the same color scheme from the polka dots on the beanie. I went ahead and hot glued the pom-poms off camera because my glue gun is a little too short. So we're going to go ahead and make the eyes by using my embroidery needle and some black embroidery thread. I feel like the embroidery thread is a much thicker, so we're just going to put it through. I start by putting the thread through the top of the snowman where I can hide the thread. So I try to find a good position where I want to put the eye knot. It takes a little bit of time to figure out. But once I figure it, I just went ahead and pulled through. And then afterwards, I just go ahead and adjusted the beanie. I'm going to probably glue that down anyway, so you won't be seeing the beanie moving around. But I go ahead and tie a knot for the eyeball. After I did this, I decided it's probably better to do at least 2 knots because it's a little small for the eye. Because afterwards you go right back in and then find the position you want to put this second eye. And it just seemed like it was a little too small, a little too beady. And just tie another knot there. And then you go ahead and pull the needle back up under the beanie again so you can hide the knot. This is where I felt that it was best to do at least 2 knots, because if you pull too tightly like I just did right there, the eye gets a little too small. If you wanted to go ahead and make the smiley face part where it looks like Cole smile, you go ahead and do the same technique, but I didn't want to do that. To tell you the truth, I really don't like to embroider. It's my least favorite thing to do. Actually, hand sewing is my least favorite thing to do when it comes to crafting. If I could throw it through my sewing machine, I'd throw anything in my sewing machine in a heartbeat. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make the little carrot nose. I just took a little part of my orange felt and just cut up a little triangle and just positioned it right there. Keep in mind, I had to go off camera to hot glue the carrot nose in place. You can also probably use some tacky glue and some fabric glue instead of a hot glue gun, especially if you want to do this project with your kids. I think it would be really fun.
Anyway, this is how my little snowman turned out. I thought it was a lot of fun to do. Very simple, very easy, and pretty inexpensive, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.